I often felt that between the white and then when the red era came in, that if the red era wasn't interested, that probably a ballroom would have maybe dwindled away, into whatever it was. Because I feel that the reason why it's red and as the bloodline, I feel, is because everything that was taught to us from the gold and then the white, that we were able to take those traditions and bring it into and hold on to it. So I know I grew up with, these three guys here, and I know that we were all individually doing our best to keep some of what we were learning from our founding mothers, from the members before. And so I know that HIV/AIDS was, it affected the community deeply. There was a time that you would go to a ball and you would hear that 25 people passed away, and it was a vivid time. And so I think that the way, these traditions were passed on, it was able to be passed on to the next generation in the Black era, if we're talking about the colors. Every time you went to a function or an event or anything, there were people that you just saw maybe 2 or 3 months ago who are no longer here. HIV medication wasn't there. But on top of that, there was also addiction happening heavily there, because there was also, we were going through that crack era as well. In New York City, well, I think every city had that, but we were also going through that. So we were dealing with not only, the loss with HIV and AIDS, but there was also substance. And so us as little kids, we were trying to figure out how can we support each other, because agencies, AIDS service organizations or other agencies, they weren't around like that just yet. And so I feel that it was the time frame for us to, whatever we learned from the Avises and the Peppers, is that we had to emulate that. How can I take care of my friend? And so that time frame, we took care of each other. We have to take it to the hospital. We were taking people into the house. When I went to the House of Pendarvis, my first introduction to Avis, I met her. She was like, oh, and she smiled, all of that. And she said, oh, go say hi to your new sister. And then I'm thinking I'm going to see somebody, in her room alive and, with feathers and furs like Avis and all of that and beads. And so when I went in the room, it was a dark room, but there was a bed there. And it was one of her daughters was in her house who was dying of AIDS, and Avis took her in. I think her name was Foxy. In fact, Foxy Pendarvis. And when I saw that, because I was dealing with my own diagnosis, I was diagnosed in '86 with HIV. And so when I saw that, I fell in love with Avis immediately, because I felt, wow, this is what we do in this community. We take care of each other.